the 50 series. I mean, you are losing out on a lot of performance. But you should be able to sell that 2070 for like a decent amount of money, like it was reasonable. And then just like the difference between the 5060 should not be that bad. No, do you recommend to undervolt? I've seen some videos about undervolting the 97 XT, but I haven't tried it myself. I tried overclocking the 97 XT, but it just crashes and you like lose performance, which is kind of strange. But from what I heard, that's normal on the AMD 90 series cards, not if you had an older one. But I'm not an expert overclocker. I like just started overclocking myself, so I'm not 100% sure. Should we heal up right away? We're not gonna get the mini anyway from here. Maybe we should grab some weapons first. Am I gonna find a mini here? No. Alright. Then we made the right call. So I'm pretty sure if you're playing Fortnite... Oh, Counter-Strike should also be... We should test CS2 also. Wait, what happened here? What? Was this like a nade or something? For Counter-Strike 2 and Fortnite on performance mode, the 5060 should perform pretty much identical to a 5070 Ti. I'm fairly sure that's what we're gonna see. Hey, you made a DDR5 overclock tutorial the other day. Would you consider doing one for DDR4? So, I am not super familiar with overclocking on DDR4. The things that you can do on DDR4 is the Treffy thing. If you do that on DDR4 and the TRFC things, those work almost the same on DDR4 and DDR5. But the rest of the timings, I'm not 100% sure. I've only overclocked like one DDR4 kit, and I was getting so much like stability issues, so I just gave up on that. But I don't know, I would try doing the Treffy and the TRFC OC. That will help you a little bit at least. Why is the Ryzen 790 SSD better than the 13600KF for gaming? What's the difference? The biggest difference with the 9800 XOD and the 7800 XOD is the 3DV cache. So right now this CPU runs, like if you ask ChatGPT you're gonna better answer, but the main thing is this CPU is now really dependent on your RAM on your PC, but the 3DV cache lowers that, like the importance of RAM, so it can work faster, because RAM is kind of slow. The 3DV cache is super fast, and the Intel CPUs have 3DV cache. It's not that they don't have it, it's just that it's way lower. And the exact difference, I'm not 100% sure, but it makes a huge difference in these games where it's like CPU heavy. So Counter-Strike 2 and Fortnite on performance mode. But the 14700K, which is like a decent CPU, when you overclock that, I have a 14700K, it runs like 450, almost 500 FPS. That's like really good. So it's not like, I don't know, people are hyping up the XD CPUs a little bit too much, because like nobody needs 558 average FPS, like honestly. But I don't know, when you compare benchmarks, of course the 9800 just looks crazy, because it is pretty crazy, but you don't really need it, in my opinion, compared to just running a, I don't know, if you have a 240 Hz 1080p monitor, 14600KF is gonna run that pretty stable, like no worries. But when you start playing like scrims and really stacked endgames, those 1% lows will drop quite a lot. If you have a low-end CPU compared to have like a decent chip, but I don't know. If you're a pro, yeah, spend more money and buy like a better CPU, but for most people it's not gonna matter. easy, bro. Should we... Can you do one for the 3050? No. I had a 3050 recently. Like I got it for a trade-in, but I'm not buying another one, bro. They're really hard to sell. So I'm not gonna buy another one. If I get it for like a trade-in, I could probably do it, but only if I get like a free one, you know, for like a lower end PC to flip. What should we just talk? I thought it was here, bro. Is the Ryzen 7 800XT better than the 9800XT? No. The 9800XT is better, but price to performance, I'd say for 99% of people, get the 7800XT. It's not really worth spending that extra money for the 9800XT because it's like, it's still pretty crazy. The 5800X could pair with a 5080 with no bottleneck. I mean, it depends a little bit on the game. Oh fuck! Wait. This guy crazy? Why is this guy sweating so much, bro? It's pubs, bro. Relax. Where were we? I didn't know where we came from, bro. Holy fuck, bro. I don't like when people are like too aggressive. I was like, I get scared. Wait, is this guy sniping me? Fuck, I'm getting third party. I'm dead, bro. I'm going to survive 11 seconds? We're not surviving 11 seconds. We are dead. Why is he so aggressive, bro? Come on, relax. How do you... Yes, exactly. It's like Donny says. I build, and then I sell PCs. So I don't have all these PC parts just for fun. I flip them. Is the 12400F with a 560 Ti good for a beginner? Yes. That's solid. I don't really recommend getting the 5060 Ti versions. At least in Sweden, like it's just price to performance. You don't really see like the percentage isn't there. So just get the regular 5060 or save up and get a 5070. But when the 5060 Ti is on sale and like you have a really tight budget and you don't want to go for the 5070, might be a good choice. But like depends on the games also. If you play like a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2, the AMD cards perform pretty good in that specific game and in the Microsoft Flight Simulator. So if you play those two games, you might get a look at the 96XT. Wait, can we buy minis here? No, only bigs. But we're gonna need some math as well. Yo, your grip silt, what's good, bro? You got a 3 gigabyte 1060. No, bro. That's not okay, bro. You need to upgrade. At least get the 60 gigabyte version. No, but you should not be buying a 1060 in 2026. Like a 3060 Ti, that's still like decent. If you play native and don't need like the DLSS4 stuff. But still, it's hard to justify paying like $200 for a 3060 Ti when the 5060 costs like $300. You get like the warranty, all the DLSS features, and like the second-hand values. Still pretty decent. It depends on a bit. Should I tell my friend to change his power supply since he's running some off-brand unrated one? No, actually. People are hating so much on these like cheap power supplies. But I bought them for a very long time. I've run them for like all kinds of different builds, and I've had one issue with a like cheap knockoff PSU. But it turns out it wasn't really an issue. I don't know, the guy that I sold the PC said, bro, it just died out of nowhere. And I said, oh, that's not good. And now it doesn't turn on. I was like, alright, we just come back. I have another like exact the same specs. We switched PCs, and then when I plugged it in, it worked. I ran like a ton of like benchmarks and stress tests, and like nothing. I don't know if he like had some issues with his power at home or like something, but that worked like great. That's the only like problem I've had with a power supply, like a cheaper off-brand one. But here's the thing: if you have a crazy build that pulls a lot of power, it's gonna be way more noticeable if you have a cheap power supply. So only get the cheap power supplies if you have like a 12400F and a 5060, because that PC will use like 300 or 350 watts while gaming. So even if you have like a cheaper one, it's probably gonna be safe, but it depends on who you ask. Maybe, I don't know, but even the more expensive power supplies will burn up. Linus Tech Tips on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel where he tests power supplies, and even like the more expensive ones like break and like shut off every now and then when they're like 100% load, or I think what they're testing is it goes above 100%. So if you spike like 110%, that's where like cheaper ones just they're not built to handle that. Let's keep the sniper, bro. It's fun to snipe people. You found a crazy deal on Enet. 6,000. That's not super good. I think on Amazon yesterday, I saw a 6000 CL36 kit for 4,200 Swedish crowns. So that's better. CPU, we are running the 9800X 3D. That's why we're getting crazy FPS right now. It is not the 5060 pulling the heavy load here. It's like impossible to hit from this distance, bro. Can I type in Swedish? Yes, you can. I'm reading the chat on the Red platform also, and that's a little bit bigger. So if you care about that, you should switch platform. TikTok, I love TikTok. TikTok is amazing. The algorithm on TikTok, I don't know what they're doing, but it's like perfect. Yes, this is performance mode, all low. The CPU is overclocked, and the RAM is overclocked. I have a tutorial on how to easily overclock your RAM on the Red platform. I suggest you watch that if you have DDR5 and you want around 10% more performance. We need to team up against this guy. Pico one more time, come on. Oh, we got perfect zone, bro. Holy, that was perfect. Where did the other guy go? Oh. I like the worst AR, and he's missing all his shots. We only have minutes now, so we don't want to take any damage. How many FPS with a i5 14400? You should be getting around 280 average. Depends a little bit on the rest of your setup. Fuck, we missed that. Fuck! I was trying to build the wall, but we couldn't. Oh fuck! Oh, we're dead. We're dead. We're dead. We're dead. Wait, it's only ticking 2? Can we make it back? I just assumed you were dead. Yeah, we're dead. Fuck. Oh, we had the reboot thing. Oh no, it's only the. Alright, yeah, yeah. Let's just give up, bro. What's that? Alright. Okay, so the 9890 CD is overclocked, running at 200 megahertz boost, and is undervolted, 30 milliwatts on all cores. RAM is slightly overclocked, and the 5060 is also overclocked, hitting a max of 3157. This is still pretty decent. Like for 5060, this is the overclock that we are running right now. Pretty decent actually.